siya noong October 18 na anong magagawa ko, hindi marunong maging presidente yung nakaupo, kasalanan ko ba yon? And then, November 23, kinumpara namin yon. Ang sabi niya doon, this country will go to hell because the person na nakaupo is hindi marunong maging presidente and who is a liar. So nakita namin yung pattern saka consistent na utterances. Then tinignan namin yung pangatlong line, ang sabi niya doon, alam ko si BBM may 5 impeachable offense, pero papasa ba dyan sa House? Siyempre hindi. Then pagdating sa November 23, sinabi naman niya doon na the President is lying through his teeth para makuha lang niya yung boto ng mga tao. Tapos minura niya sila, PI ka, BBM, Lisa Marcos, and former Speaker of the House. So, tinignan namin, sino ba yung nagsasalita? Kung ang nagsasalita, Your Honor, is yung ikalawa sa pinakamataas na posisyon in public at yun yung kanyang utterances, definitely, Your Honor, there is a tendency to stir up the people against lawful government.
Kindly wind up, Senator Go.
No more question, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you,
Salamat
Senator
po.
Judge
Salamat.
Go. Senator Judge Padilla intimated to the presiding officer that he will defer his questions to a later time. Counsel for the respondent, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Just a manifestation, Your Honor, in relation to the query or the manifestation of Senator Judge Villanueva.
In relation to the query of
His manifestation, Your Honor.
No need, counsel. Proceed unless he asked you a question to save in the court's time. Please proceed with your cross-examination.
All right. I'll just transform it into a question. You were asked about that December 2, 2024 letter, correct?
December 2, yes, sir.
That is the letter where you gave a schedule for the Vice President to attend, correct?
Yeah, signed by our Assistant Director.
Right. But the schedule that you gave was November 11, 2024 at 10 a.m. and then you gave the address. So in other words...
Sinabi ko na huyang kahapon, typographical error yun, sir.
My question naman is this if tama yung schedule sana at nakapunta si VP Sara, would it have affected your investigation?
Your Honor, even up till now, ready ho kaming tanggapin kung anumang information na threat against the life ng Presidente, continuous, ng Vice Presidente, continuous po yun. In fact, sabi ko nga kanina, yung intelligence service namin is may ginagawang monitoring from time to time dun sa threat to life against the Vice President, President, etc.
Okay, I'll move on to a new point. Now, let me show you a portion of the interview of Dempsey Reyes of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Please direct your attention to paragraph 13 of the minutes of the meeting. This is also the transcription made by Agent Kalilong. Page 173 of Annex G9 as well. So, here, it says, may press con kasi earlier than that, sabi niya lang, gusto daw siyang patayin daw, according to her, ni Speaker. That was during a press conference the day before, November 2022. So, considering that this is part of the minutes of the meetings, this is also part of the NBI's own records, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, my question is this. Did you issue a subpoena against Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Did you issue a subpoena? Kay Speaker Romualdez, sir?
Yes.
Kasi, ba't ako mag-issue ng subpoena? Wala pa kaming sufficient na...
So you did not issue?
Hindi kami nag-issue,
all right.
sir.
So, in other words, for VP Sara, you issued not just one, but 2 subpoenas. But for the former speaker, you did not issue a subpoena. That's just a question.
There is an apparent commission of the crime for grave threats and inciting to sedition, sir.
I see. So, for this particular portion, you just turned a blind eye and did not issue.
Well,
anyway,
there is no validated information on that, sir.
Let the witness answer. There was a question.
Yeah, but based on
Counsel, kindly don't argue with the witness.
But based on your testimony yesterday, you said that you have a system of evaluating factors, correct? My question to you is, based on that system, does Martin Romualdez have the capacity to execute a death threat, for example?
We haven't established any apparent crime committed by the former speaker, Your Honor. So hindi kami nag-delve dyan sa issue na yan.
Yeah, at any rate, this minutes of the meeting, which you all confirmed that is part of the NBI's own record, isn't this information regarding the death threat against VP Sara?
Well, ang sabi po dyan, if I may read my press con, kasi earlier than that, sabi niya, sabi lang niya, gusto daw siyang patayin daw, according to her, ni Speaker, that was during a press conference the day before. Precisely, Your Honor, the reason why we issued a letter noong November 22 is to ask the Vice President kung ano ho yung facts and circumstances dyan sa issue na yan. But since hindi ho nag-appear ang Vice Presidente, wala ho talaga kaming mapagsimulan. Wala kaming validated information.
But you issued the subpoena against Dempsey Reyes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pero ang tinanong nyo kay Dempsey Reyes, yung case lang against VP Sara. Hindi niya siya tinanong ng threats to her, correct?
Well, unang-una, ang ini-establish namin, ang focus ng investigation namin, the reason why we subpoena the late Dempsey Reyes is whether or not nag-utter ba yung Vice President doon sa statement niya na nag-contract na siya ng tao para patayin si BBM, si Lisa Marcos, at si former Speaker.
Okay.
Sir, yun po yung focus ng investigation namin.
So despite that track, you still maintain that this part of the investigation, you did not have bias?
We don't have bias.
Argumentative,
All right,
Your Honor.
I'll move on. Let's go back to the investigation that you did against VP Sara. So you mentioned yesterday that the offended parties in this case, if at all, are BBM, FL, and the former Speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you subpoena any of them?
No, sir.
Did they appear before the NBI?
No, sir.
Nakausap niyo ba sila ng personal?
No, sir.
And yet, you concluded that they were victims of grave threats, correct?
Based on the evidence we've gathered, yes, sir.
So without any personal correspondences with them, you came to that conclusion,
The evidence is clear, sir.
according to you.
Oh, objection, Your Honor. I move
So-
that. Oh, wait.
Counsel-
We cannot let this
No,
pass.
that's part
I
of-
move, Your Honor, that the defense counsel, with all due respect, be admonished from stating those unprofessional remarks. We are in front of national TV.
No, that's
That is his answer. If you are not satisfied with his answer, please don't lay any value to what the witness answered. Your Honor, may I move that the
This is a reminder for counsel for both parties. Kindly avoid side remarks. Henceforth, the presiding officer will have it stricken off the record. And whatever question you pose and afterwards withdraw will likewise be stricken off from the record, so as to avoid any attempts at showmanship usually seen on TV, yes, but will not be tolerated by this impeachment court. Counsels are so reminded.
we will comply, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
To clarify, Mr. Witness, yung NBI subpoena against VP Sara that you issued was her being a respondent, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pero as a complainant, you did not issue.
We issued a letter, sir, December 2.
As the complainant na siya yung subject naman ng threats, walang subpoena as to that effect.
Walang subpoena, sir.
So in other words, hindi talaga siya naka-explain kasi what you sent out was a letter and not a subpoena.
Yung letter is to inform the Vice President na iniimbestigahan din namin yung threat against the life niya. So therefore, kailangan namin yung presence niya or any information na pwedeng makatulong sa investigation.
Yun na nga, pero hindi niya siya sinenda ng subpoena. Isn't it that in a regular case, the prosecutor sends out a subpoena both to the complainant and to the respondent?
With the prosecutor, sir?
Yes. You're a lawyer, you know this.
What
When
do
you
you
file
do,
a
sir?
case before the prosecutor's office, the handling prosecutor issues out a subpoena sa parehong parties.
Ang
Tama?
alam ko, during the case concern, I think nag-appear yata ang Vice Presidente sa DOJ. Yan,
Alright.
doon ako na-inform, sir.
Okay, I'll move on to a new point. Let's talk about the reversal by the DOJ. Diba? There was a initial finding on February 5 and then it was eventually reversed. Now, would you agree with me that the rectifications that you made for the first affidavit of investigation were procedural deficiencies?
Procedural deficiencies.
Like the
No,
TSN,
it's part of the case build-up, Your Honor.
but what you added were TSNs, affidavits of your own agents, correct? Don't you consider that as...
Those were affidavits
Yes, but don't you consider that those as procedural and not substantive?
Part of the evaluation and case build-up, yes, sir.
All right. But in effect, the substance of the case remained the same.
Walang nabago ho sa affidavit, sa una at sa pangalawa, parehas po yun.
Very good.
Sir.
So, in other words, wala kang no additional discussion on the merits of the case.
On the merits of the case, yung findings namin, hindi ho nabago
All
yun,
right.
sir.
Very good. So, no additional witnesses were interviewed.
What do you mean interview, sir?
Wala nang additional interviews. Kung ano yung sa first affidavit nyo, yun na rin yung sa second affidavit. Wala nang additional interviewees.
Kung I think ang naalala ko 6 ho na media personalities ang na-interview namin at yun ho yung nag-reflect sa affidavit. At the same time, we tried to issue subpoena sa I think head ng ABS-CBN.
I understand that, but be more responsive.
Your Honor, if I may, the witness is still in the process of answering his...
Your Honor, but the answer is not
Exactly.
responsive. My question is very
Let him
simple.
finish first, with all due respect, Your Honor.
With the permission of the counsel for the parties. Attorney Latok, the question was, sa pagitan ng una at pangalawang sinubmit ninyo sa DOJ, may mga testigo ba kayong dinagdag sa pangalawa niyong submission sa DOJ? O pareho din po yung mga testigo, nilakip lang yung mga affidavit na hindi na ilakip dun sa unang pag-submit?
Yeah, insofar as I'm concerned, Your Honor, parehas lang po.
Okay.
All right.
You may proceed, counsel.
But we will never know that for sure because you never released your first affidavit of investigation, correct?
Well, I think it's in the DOJ. Ang binigay sa amin yung certification kung ano yung mga requirements na dapat na may comply.
Yeah, but what you attach, when you received the subpoena from the House Committee on Justice, which was used as the basis for the articles of impeachment, the first affidavit of investigation was never included, correct?
Yung nag-submit ho dyan, Your Honor, sila Agent Kalilong, wala akong idea
Hindi
dun sa...
All right, that's okay. So, I have a question about the affidavit of investigation, okay? An affidavit, or I'll just be more specific, your second affidavit of investigation was subscribed and sworn to, correct?
Yes, sir.
On February 10, 2025.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before who?
Can I check, sir?
Sure.
Witness may consult
Thank you,
the document before him.
Your Honor.
Counsel for the parties may assist him.
Your Honor, we'll just confront him with our own...
Subscribe and sworn to before Assistant Director Glenn A. Ricarte. Sir.
All right. So do you remember that you subscribed along with the other agents before General Ricarte now?
Yes, sir. May signature kami rito.
All right. And you did this because the first affidavit of investigation cannot be altered anymore.
What do you mean, sir?
An affidavit, as you know, you are a lawyer. Once an affidavit is subscribed and sworn to, it is a complete document already.
Yeah.
Okay? Meaning, even if you take out one page or you add an annex, you already alter the meaning of that document. Will you agree with me?
Your Honor, the process is legal evaluation by the prosecutor and case build-up. So pag nakita ho ng prosecution...
Your Honor, I'm just talking about the nature of the affidavit. I'm not
Attorney
talking about...
Latok, kindly answer the question. It's a general question pertaining to an affidavit in general, not this particular one.
Ano yung question, sir?
Okay, an affidavit, once you subscribe and swear to it, that already becomes a, if I may use the term, untouchable affidavit in such that you cannot take out one page, you cannot alter one paragraph, you cannot add annex.
Well, I think kung sinubmit niya na ho yan officially sa halimbawa sa korte, hindi na ho pwede yan. Pero yung process ho namin, yung evaluation tsaka case build-up, nag-uusap ho ang prosecutor tsaka yung investigator. So sinasabi ng pros, pag may kulang ka, ito. So itong unang affidavit, since may kulang sa mga attachment, ayusin nyo, baguhin nyo, i-comply nyo yung mga requirements. Since yung affidavit na yon is naka-date nung January 30 at magkukomply pa lang kami, Anong na-comply namin, nag-submit kami sa DOJ and that is already February 10, 2025. So magkaiba ho yung date. So definitely babaguhin namin yung date. Kasi nga, dumaan kami sa process ng compliance based on...
Wait. In other words, when you
evaluation.
subscribed and sworn to your January 30, 2025 affidavit, you added documents or pages to it?
Ang sabi ko po, sir, ang sabi ng DOJ, may kulang kayong affidavit of authentication, may kulang kayong TSN. Yun ho yung in-attach namin doon
Precisely.
sa
So in other words, you added documents to your January 30, 2025 affidavit?
attachment, sir. Attachment.
So you admit that you added attachments to it?
Part of compliance, doon sa case build-up, at doon sa evaluation na requirement
All right,
ng
but
Department
Mr.
of
Witness, isn't it
Your
that...
Honor, again, can I respectfully request
Your
to
Honor,
the presiding
may
officer?
I just be allowed to proceed, Your Honor?
Let me be allowed. Can I be
Counsel for the
allowed?
respondent, let the counsel for the prosecutors
Your Honor,
finish with this observation or objection.
Can I make a respectful request to the defense to let the witness finish the answer before they propound the next question, Your Honor, please? For orderly proceeding, Your Honor, please.
Point well taken. Counsel, please proceed accordingly. And may I also remind the witness, Attorney Latok, kindly answer yes or no instead of yeah and nah.
Yes, sir. Sorry po.
So that it's
Your
clearer
Honor.
for our records.
Yes,
You
Your
may
Honor.
proceed, counsel for the respondent.
So you admit that after you subscribe and swear to that January 30, 2025 affidavit, you added documents to it so that it will comply with the requirements of the DOJ. Is that what you're saying?
Attachment based on the requirement of the DOJ, sir.
All right, thank
Yun
you
ang
for that
nilagay namin.
admission. Just one last point on this. Can we flash affidavit of investigation? Can we flash page 1? This is page 13, Your Honor, of the AOI's Annex G9 for the benefit or for the guidance of this honorable court. The one that was flashed earlier.
Tech is instructed to do so.
All right, so this is the first page of the affidavit of investigation. Will you agree with me that this was not received by this particular document as is was not received by the DOJ?
I don't have personal knowledge. Ang inutusan ko po dyan, yung executive officers and agent on case na makipag-communicate sa Department of Justice.
But you are a co-signer of this, correct?
Yeah, insofar as the content of the affidavit.
All right. And so you mean to say that you didn't cause the filing of this case with the DOJ?
Inutusan ko po ang executive officers at si Agent
Alright,
Kilong
but
na sila mag-process po na dalhin yung referral na yan sa Department of Justice, sir.
At any rate, you're smart enough
Okay na,
to
ma'am.
peruse the first page and you can see that there's no received stamp appearing there too, correct?
Received from DOJ o by DOJ, sir?
By DOJ.
Again, ang makakasagot po niyan, yung nag-process niyan, si executive officer nga namin.
Yeah, but
at si
based
Agent
on
Kilong.
only-
Again, the witness still in the process of answering the question.
Counsel, take it easy. Let the witness complete his answer.
Okay, Your Honor. But based as it appears only, as it appears on this document, this is part of the records and also uploaded in the Senate website already last July 12 so that the public can peruse. Annex GGG, this is page 13. Based on this document and observation, can you notice any received stamp on this document?
Based on that document, wala hong
All right.
naka-stamped or received.
Precisely my point that was attached. If this was really received by the DOJ, there should have been an IDF, right, or a transmittal letter attached to this.
Again, yung makakasagot po niyan, yung executive officers, Agent Kalilong, and the prosecution, sir, kasi sila ang nag-uusap dyan. Sila ang nagdala ng dokumento na yan.
All right, I'll move on to a new point. Now, Article 4 of...
What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Pia Cayetano?
Mr. President, I wanted to take the floor before the defense went to another point, so I wouldn't interrupt his train of thought.
The lady has 2 minutes and may proceed when she's ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is actually addressed to both counsels and to the witness.
Yes, ma'am.
So the witness also happens to be a lawyer. 4 na abogado po tayo mag-uusap dito. Pero ang pakiusap ko, speak in layman's term because we want the public to understand. Very simple question. I want to understand your appreciation of the crime of grave threats. Okay? It sounds like a simple question, but when I look at the elements, so explain ko din sa mga nakikinig. Pag tinignan natin ang definition ng crime, nandiyan yung elements. So the prosecution must always prove yung elements of the crime. Ang question ko ay, in your appreciation, dapat ba na ang supposed victim nakaramdam talaga siya ng threats? Or is it enough that the general public considers the statement threatening? Okay, so is it personal or is it a general sentiment? Now, before I proceed, gusto ko magbigay ng example para intindihan mga kababayan natin. Kung magkapit-bahay, nagkapikunan dun sa bakod, tapos sabi nung isa, bubulohin ko to. Is that a grave threat? Second example, 2 boksingero, nagkainitan, susuntukin kita. This is among 2 professional boxers. Is that a grave threat? Third example, police. Sabi, bubunutan ko to ng baril. Is that a grave threat? Maybe it's just offensive. Dahil sa professional, you shouldn't say that to a fellow police. And my fourth example is a senator. Pag sinabi niyang bibitbitin kita, kikwelyuhan kita, palalayasan kita, is that a grave threat? I'll add some details. If that is supposedly addressed to a fellow senator, and she is a female senator like me, na kahit na hindi naman isa hong kilalang runner, marathoner, but a non-violent person, is that a grave threat? Well, I'll just tell you my personal opinion, and then I'll tell you now. I felt that was a grave threat. So, may I ask the counsel and the witness to now answer the question? Thank you.
If you may, Your Honor, please, yung prosecution po.
Senator Judge Pia, who do you want to answer first?
Good
In the
question.
order that you
Pag-iisipan ko
prefer.
ng matagal yan, Mr. President. I give you the decision on that one, Mr. President. Siguro prosecution, kasi
Yes, po.
sila naman ang kailangan mag-prove ng case nila. And then the witness, and then the defense counsel.
Again, an admonition from the chair without stating conclusions of fact and law that again is reserved for the impeachment court. You may state your opinions with respect to the elements of
Definitely.
the crime of grave threats specifically identified
Yes.
by the senator judge.
And if I may, presiding officer, feel free to interrupt them if you feel that they have crossed the line, as I will. That's why I just
Opo,
want, I repeat my question, I want to understand your appreciation of the crime. You may, Mr. President, will we allow them to cite jurisprudence? I leave it up to you. I just
Opo.
want to understand the appreciation kasi.
Opo.
What do you think?
Doon sa particular pong katanungang yon ni Senator Judge Pia Cayetano na dapat ba may takot na naramdaman, correct me if I'm wrong, Senator Judge Pia,
Yes.
yung taong tinatakot o subject matter ng grave threats o pampublikong pagtanggap pa na nakakatakot yung mga sinabi niya laban dun sa taong tinatakot niya.
Siguro a simple yes or no with a very short explanation would
Opo.
suffice, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Attorney Ligutan, you have 2
Maraming
minutes,
salamat,
please.
Senator Pia Cayetano. Maraming salamat sa pagkakataon. Yung sagot sa tanong na iyan, yung sagot po ng prosecution, hindi po galing sa opinion ng aking mga kasama. Ito po ay isang decision. No less than the Supreme Court of the Philippines. It just so happened, Your Honors, as an answer po sa tanong ni Senator Pia Cayetano, may 2 kaso na po yung Supreme Court. Yung isa is Paera versus People. Yung GR number, siguro yung mga law students, no? Mga law students. GR number 181626, May 30, 2011. The title is Paera versus People. Sinabi ng Supreme Court doon, wala pong batas na nagre-require na may private complainant, ibig sabihin, hindi po required na yung biktima mag-execute ng affidavit upang yung akusado po pwedeng ma-found guilty ng grave threat. Paera versus people. But more than that, Your Honor, please. May isang kaso pa. No less than the Supreme Court in the Philippines. Sinabi doon, hindi po kailangan na yung recipient mismo nakaramdam ng takot or that sineryoso yung pagbabanta. Your Honor, to repeat, etong sinabi ng Supreme Court, all that needs to be proven is that they were intended by the accused to have that effects. Yung sagot sa tanong, hindi po galing sa prosecution, hindi po opinion, galing mismo sa Supreme Court of the Philippines, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for that. So, Mr. President, can we now...
If I may add, Senator Judge P, if I remember my memory aid correctly, there are only certain private crimes that need a private complainant, and most of these are personal crimes, such as concubinage, adultery, seduction, abduction, rape, and acts of lasciviousness. Although these crimes are all entitled People of the Philippines versus the accused, without a private complainant, these crimes cannot be filed by the prosecutor in court without the cooperation or affidavit of the private complainant. Counsel for respondent will please reply to the query of Senator Judge Pia Cayetano. You also have 2 minutes, sir.
All right. I will try to avoid making conclusions of fact and law, Your Honor, but I will answer in light of the facts of this case and leave it up to the discretion of this honorable court.
Please, sir, you may proceed.
It is our position that the statements made by the Vice President were not threats in the first place. That's why we were categorizing it as response, a mere response to a Q&A. Number one. Number two, it was never aimed directly at BBM, FL, and the former speaker. In other words, had they not watched the video, for example, they wouldn't have known about it. So in other words, Your Honor, there was no threats to begin with. And so even the discussion on the elements is not really applicable insofar as determining the innocence or guilt of the Vice President. That is basically our position. That is one more thing. And practically, we maintain this position all throughout our pleadings. We never referred to that statement as threats. We always say that if at all they were alleged threats. But we referred to the statements of the Vice President as statements, as responses. And even in my speech, that's what I said. It was a response, Your Honor. That would be all, Your Honor.
Noted. Attorney Lotop, your response to Senator Judge Pia's question based on your investigation. You may proceed, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. In establishing, Your Honor, whether or not the crime of grave threat exists, we follow the rule. First, whether there is an actus reus, and then second, whether there is a mens rea. So actus reus, Your Honor, means whether the offender in fact uttered the threatening remarks. We were able to establish that. That's why in-authenticate po ng NBI yung video na kung saan nandoon yung utterances. The test of mens rea, Your Honor, what we did, we interpret the utterances objectively and in the light of the circumstances in which they were uttered, in the manner in which those utterances were spoken, the person to whom they were addressed, the utterances were addressed, the relationship between the parties, meaning the offender and the recipients, and then the reactions of the recipients, whether they treat the utterances serious or real. But again, I would agree with what Attorney Ligutan said. In fact, ang basis po namin dyan, yung Garma versus People. Ang isa ho doon sa sinabi ng